On today's journey we will explore the first 13 Gothic rock songs in history. In the twilight of the 1960s and 1970s, a sound emerged that was not satisfied with euphoria or rebellion. A sound that looked inward, toward the shadows, toward the beauty of the tragic. Gothic rock was not born from a single band or a single moment, but from a long process of emotional mutation, from the first experimental murmurs to the darkest post-punk melodies. So turn off the lights, light a candle, and join me as we descend through the corridors of time, where the echo of melancholy still resounds. Joy Division, Shadowplay. When Joy Division burst onto the scene, the Gothic sound found its most human and tragic face. Shadowplay is a masterpiece of contained desperation. From the very first bar, Peter Hook's bass draws a line of constant tension, while Ian Curtis sings with an intensity that seems to come from the depths of a nightmare. His voice does not scream, it sinks. The lyrics are fragments of an endless search, a metaphor for urban alienation.
In the shadowplay, acting out your own death.
In the city, in the darkness, I move among the shadows, Curtis sings, and each word resonates like a confession. There is no redemption, only movement in circles. The song encapsulates the feeling of existential emptiness that would become the soul of Gothic music. Martin Hannett's production turned the track into a sonic specter. Everything feels distant, as if it were being heard from inside a tunnel. That sense of echo and depersonalization became the definitive aesthetic of the genre, the sound of emotion filtered through isolation. Shadowplay is more than a song, it is a manifesto. It is the declaration that hopelessness can also be art, that pain can be a form of beauty. With it, Joy Division not only inspired bands like The Cure or Bauhaus, but defined the melancholic soul of Gothic rock. Roxy music, in every dream home a heartache.
Standards of living, they're right.
Brian Ferry pushed the concept of decadence to the extreme with, in every dream home a heartache. Through a disturbing narrative about love for an inflatable doll, the song reveals the loneliness and emptiness of modern life. Ferry sings with elegant coldness, as if reading a letter from an empty penthouse. His measured, distant voice reinforces the feeling of alienation. The instrumentation is almost cinematic. A somber organ and a slow rhythm set the stage for a final crescendo that explodes with cathartic intensity.
But what goes on? What to do there?
That moment of release, followed by an echo of emptiness, perfectly represents the Gothic paradox, pleasure and despair intertwined. Beyond its strange premise, the song is a critique of emotional artificiality. Ferry describes luxury as a golden prison, an existence full of objects but devoid of soul.
All of its comfort.
This reflection on the loss of authenticity would resonate deeply with the Gothic spirit, which always preferred the sincerity of pain over the falseness of happiness. In Every Dream Home a Heartache was not only a masterpiece by Roxy Music, but also a key piece in the evolution of dark sound. Its blend of sophistication, tragedy, and eroticism anticipated the aesthetic sensibility that would dominate the Gothic scene a decade later.
Inflatable doll. My role is to say.
The Velvet Underground, All Tomorrow's Parties. Before Gothic had a name, there were already artists navigating between decadence and art. All Tomorrow's Parties, from the Velvet Underground's debut album, was one of the first pieces to capture that atmosphere of strange solemnity. With Nico's deep, distant voice, the song feels like a prayer without hope, a portrait of the elegant loneliness of the Warhol era. The hypnotic repetition of the piano and the deliberate monotony of the rhythm create a sense of spiritual emptiness that would become essential to the Gothic spirit. This song does not speak directly of death or darkness, but its cold beauty is so intense that it seems to hover over an emotional abyss. Nico performs with an unsettling serenity, as if she were singing from an empty room after the party has ended. That mix of detachment and vulnerability was a trait later adopted by artists such as Siouxsie Sioux or Ian Curtis. In the context of the 1960s, dominated by colorful psychedelia and hippie optimism, All Tomorrow's Parties was an anomaly. It was gray where everything else was bright, sad where everything else was euphoric. Its minimalist solemnity opened an alternative path for rock sensibility, one that did not celebrate life, but observed it slowly fading away. Many consider this song the seed of Gothic rock not because it declares its darkness, but because it embodies it. In its apparent coldness there is contained pain, a distant beauty that would become the heart of the genre, a fascination with what is withered, with what was once glorious and now survives only as memory. David Bowie, the Bewlay Brothers. David Bowie, always an alchemist of sound, offered one of his earliest expressions of Gothic sensitivity with the Bewlay Brothers. This song, included on Hunky Dory, is a deeply introspective piece in which the artist confronts his own duality. The instrumentation is faint, almost whispered, while his voice moves between tenderness and emotional disintegration. The result is a melancholic atmosphere that anticipates Gothic introspection. The lyrics are an enigma. They speak of brothers, reflections, mental fragmentation. Bowie never fully explained their meaning, but many interpret the song as a metaphor for madness and divided identity. This poetic treatment of inner conflict would be fundamental to the development of Gothic music, which has always explored the splitting of the self. Sonically, the Bewlay Brothers sounds like a lament encapsulated in fog.
The solid book we wrote cannot be found today.
There is no overflowing drama, but rather a tone of resignation. Bowie creates beauty out of fragility, an aesthetic that later Gothic bands would perfect. The trembling voice and distant instrumentation achieve a cinematic sense of loneliness. Beneath its apparent calm, the song contains a devastating inner fire. It is a confession disguised as a song. With it, Bowie opened an emotional door that many others would walk through, that of the artist who turns alienation into art and sadness into identity.
You thought we were vacant.
Nico, Janitor of Lunacy. Three years after her time with the Velvet Underground, Nico released Janitor of Lunacy, a funereal hymn that cemented her status as a pioneer of sonic melancholy. Her voice, almost without vibrato, sounds like a distant bell in an abandoned monastery. Accompanied only by a minimalist piano, Nico transforms sadness into ritual. There is no rhythm or traditional structure, only atmosphere, silence, and a beauty that freezes the soul. The title, Janitor of Lunacy, already suggests a reflection on inner surveillance, on tending to a metaphorical asylum within oneself. The lyrics are cryptic, filled with symbolic images, as if they were fragments of an ancient dream. Their fatalistic, almost apocalyptic tone embodies the essence of Gothic music, the spiritual, the broken, the sublime within ruin. What is most fascinating is how Nico creates a sense of total isolation. There is no hope or redemption, only acceptance. Her singing does not seek to move the listener, but to hypnotize. This emotional detachment would become a constant of the genre, the idea that the purest emotion is spoken without tears, in a low voice, looking inward. Janitor of Lunacy was misunderstood in its time, but today it sounds like a prophetic sigh. It is the echo of an artist ahead of her era, whose darkness was not a pose, but an inner truth. Without her, the very concept of Gothic as an art form might not exist. Patti Smith Land. Before post-punk even existed, Patti Smith was already invoking spirits on stage. Land, from her album Horses, is an electric poem that blends surrealism, mysticism, and symbolic violence. From its opening moments, the song sounds like a ceremony. Patti does not sing, she invokes. Her voice rises among frantic guitars and chaotic verses, creating a spiritual energy that would inspire an entire generation. The song tells a fragmented story in which Johnny, an ambiguous character, passes through visions of desire, destruction, and rebirth. Smith turns the narrative into a ritual of sexual and emotional liberation. That intense, visceral theatricality is one of the pillars of Gothic music, the body as a stage for catharsis. The sound is raw, almost punk, but its intention goes beyond noise. Every word seems to carry sacred weight, a mystical purpose. Smith achieves what few can, turning chaos into transcendence. Her performance is a trance in which the profane and the sacred become indistinguishable. Land anticipated the idea that dark art could be a form of purification. In its blend of poetry and madness, Patti Smith planted one of the most important seeds of Gothic music, understanding darkness not as a curse, but as a path towards spiritual authenticity. Siouxsie and the Banshees, Premature Burial. Siouxsie Sue was not only a pioneer, she was a force of nature. In Premature Burial, inspired by the tales of Edgar Allan Poe, the singer explores fear, sensuality, and death with unsettling theatricality. From the opening bars, the tribal drums and dissonant guitars create a claustrophobic atmosphere. Siouxsie sings as if she were trapped between the walls of a tomb, fighting against confinement. The song not only borrows its title from classic horror, but turns it into a metaphor for control and emotional repression. The sensation of being buried alive is, in reality, the anguish of being trapped in a society that suffocates individuality. This psychological reading, wrapped in a dark and elegant sound, defined Gothic identity as introspective art. Musically, the band experiments with unconventional structures, creating a dense soundscape filled with tension. Siouxsie's voice alternates between whisper and scream, between plea and defiance. It is the perfect representation of Gothic duality, fragility and power within the same breath. Premature Burial was one of the first tracks where Gothic ceased to be suggestion and became a complete aesthetic statement. Its combination of literary terror, dark sensuality, and decadent elegance cemented Siouxsie and the Banshees as architects of the genre. Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead. If Gothic rock had an official birth, that moment would be the release of Bela Lugosi's Dead. Released by Bauhaus in 1979, this 9-minute song not only defined the Gothic sound, it consecrated it. From its introduction, marked by dry, echoing drums and a deep bass line, the listener is immersed in a funerary yet fascinating atmosphere. Peter Murphy sings with a cavernous voice, like a vampire awakening from centuries of sleep, paying tribute to the actor who embodied Dracula. The track combines instrumental minimalism with theatrical atmosphere. There is no rush, no traditional structure, only a soundscape suspended in time. Daniel Ash's guitars do not seek melody, but texture, drawing sonic shadows that expand like fog. This is music that breathes darkness, that does not need to shout to be unsettling. Its hypnotic slowness is where its power lies. The lyrics, laden with irony and elegance, evoke the immortality of the Gothic myth. The bats have left the bell tower, the victims have been bled, Murphy sings with decadent sensuality. It is more ritual than song, an initiation rite for those drawn to the nocturnal, the forbidden, the beauty of decay. Bela Lugosi's Dead did not just found a sound, it founded an aesthetic. From that moment on, Gothic ceased to be a scattered intuition and became an identity. From the clubs of Northampton to stages around the world, Bauhaus lit a torch that still illuminates the darkest corners of alternative rock. The Cure, A Forest. With A Forest, The Cure took Gothic into a more introspective emotional territory. While Bauhaus evoked cemeteries and vampires, The Cure explored loneliness and inner emptiness. The song is a metaphor for an endless search. A man chases a voice through the forest, but what he finds is only his own desolation. The hypnotic, constant bass line guides the path like a broken compass pointing nowhere. Robert Smith sings with a restrained, resigned voice, as if he already knows his search is futile. Each word floats among echoes and reverberations, trapped in a foggy sonic atmosphere. The forest is not a physical place, but a symbol, confusion, memory, loss. This ability to turn the everyday into emotional metaphor distinguishes The Cure as masters of melodic Gothic. Musically, A Forest combines simplicity and precision. The instrumental minimalism reinforces the feeling of isolation, while the rhythmic repetition creates a trance-like sensation. It is a sound that does not seek to impress, but to envelop. The beauty of the song lies in its restraint, in its ability to suggest more than it reveals. With this work, The Cure solidified the melancholic tone that would define much of 1980s Gothic rock. It was a song to emptiness, a poetry of modern disenchantment. From then on, the band would become the most iconic face of melancholy, proving that darkness can also be luminous when viewed with honesty. The Sisters of Mercy, Alice. When the Sisters of Mercy burst onto the scene, Gothic acquired a new face, one of strength, gravity, and industrial elegance. Alice was their first great manifesto, a track that combines the mechanical coldness of drum machines with the cavernous voice of Andrew Eldritch. From the opening seconds, the pulsing bass and repetitive rhythm create a hypnotic sensation, like a ritual dance between the human and the artificial. Eldritch does not sing, he preaches. His deep, solemn voice turns the song into a dark sermon. Alice is not a woman of flesh and blood, but a symbol, lost innocence, addiction, impossible redemption. The tone oscillates between the mystical and the urban, reflecting the conflict between desire and decadence. Every word sounds like a command, like a prayer for the damned. The band's sound is characterized by precision. There is no improvisation or chaos. Everything is control, sonic geometry. That calculated coldness is what makes the emotion feel more intense. Alice sounds like a machine that beats, like a metallic heart inside a body of flesh. With the Sisters of Mercy, Gothic became more structural, more physical, more powerful. The influence of this song was immense. It not only helped define British dark rock in the 1980s, but also paved the way for later electronic Gothic styles. In Alice, the spirituality of emptiness and the sensuality of the abyss meet, two poles that would unite to form the new liturgy of darkness. The Danse Society, We're So Happy. Amid the post-Bauhaus wave, the Danse Society brought a more melodic and elegant vision to the Gothic sound. We're So Happy, an ironically luminous title, is one of the most representative pieces of that balance between romanticism and disenchantment. Its pop structure blends with a somber, ethereal atmosphere, creating a fascinating duality, a song you can dance to with tears in your eyes. From its opening, electronic percussion and dominant bass create a steady, almost hypnotic pulse. Above it, guitars reverberate like metallic sighs. The lead vocal appears distant, wrapped in echo, as if coming from a dream or a radio lost in time. That sense of emotional distance reinforces the message. The proclaimed happiness is merely a mask. The lyrics are a shattered mirror of 1980s optimism. They speak of fake smiles, of a superficial world where sadness must be hidden behind a grin. This veiled critique of appearance-driven culture connects deeply with the Gothic spirit, the authenticity of suffering versus social artifice. We're So Happy became an anthem for hearts that felt out of place. In its danceable rhythm and elegant melancholy, the Danse Society proved that Gothic could also be sensual, aesthetic, and emotionally refined. It was confirmation that the genre could evolve without losing its dark soul. Clan of Xymox, A Day. With Clan of Xymox, Gothic fully embraced the digital age. A Day is a darkwave gem, melancholic, atmospheric, and deeply introspective. From the first synthesizer notes, the track builds an enveloping atmosphere that seems to suspend time. It is a song to get lost in, like a dream that never ends. The whispered, ethereal vocals merge with electronic echoes, creating a sense of unreality. The minimalist lyrics speak of routine, emptiness, and the endless repetition of days. There is no climax or resolution, only the melancholic continuity of existence. It is the perfect sonic portrait of modern alienation. The production of A Day stands out for its balance between the synthetic and the emotional. Keyboards float over slow bass lines, while programmed percussion maintains a calm but constant rhythm. The result is a hypnotic atmosphere that invites both movement and reflection. Clan of Xymox brought a new dimension to Gothic, the digital soul. With A Day, the genre ceased to be purely rock-based and became a space where technology and sadness could coexist. It is the fusion of machine coldness and the warmth of human melancholy. Dead Can Dance, The Fatal Impact. Dead Can Dance elevated Gothic to an almost spiritual category. The Fatal Impact, included on their debut album, does not merely express sadness, it evokes a liturgy of loss. From the opening tribal drums, the song sounds like an ancient ritual, an invocation of the forgotten forces of the earth. Lisa Gerrard and Brendan Perry do not perform, they invoke. Their music transcends time and space. The instrumentation blends primitive percussion, atmospheric guitars, and voices that seem to come from another era. Every note is an act of reverence toward the sacred, the eternal. This is not urban darkness, but cosmic darkness, a melancholy that connects the human with the divine. It is Gothic stripped of artifice, reduced to its spiritual essence. The lyrics, though enigmatic, evoke the idea of an inevitable impact, a fatal destiny no one can escape. The song sounds like a procession, like a prayer for humanity. Gerrard, with her wordless voice, conveys universal emotions: pain, reverence, transcendence. The fatal impact changed the perception of the genre. It showed that Gothic could be not only an emotional refuge, but also a mystical experience. With it, Dead Can Dance transformed darkness into purity, sadness into spirituality. It was the consecration of Gothic as a total art form. These songs do not merely tell the story of a musical movement, they narrate the evolution of a universal human emotion, the desire to understand darkness. Each artist, from Bowie to Dead Can Dance, contributed a different shade: introspection, spirituality, hopelessness, or redemption. And together they built a sonic cathedral that still resonates in culture today. Gothic rock is not just an aesthetic, it is a way of seeing the world. It is understanding that sadness can be beautiful, and that there is also light in the twilight. These songs are the foundations of a sensibility that remains alive, in every whisper, in every echo, in every shadow. Thus ends our journey through the origins of Gothic rock. But like every good Gothic story, the ending is not truly an ending, just an echo that continues to resound in the darkness.